previously on Let's Share Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Wasn't he it? A refrigerator. I wonder if there's anything to drink inside. After everything I've been through, I'm totally parched. Maybe just a quick puke? There's a bunch of blood packets in here for blood transfusions, I guess. It doesn't help me though. I'm not a vampire.
And now, back to sharing the despair.
Well, Monokuma said he wasn't gonna have a stay tuned after the action pack class. What the heck? Monokuma said stay tuned after. He wouldn't say that, but we did. And sure, that commercial break lasted about a week or so, but
the point is we're back now.
Yes. We have returned, and I have theories.
Okay, let's get to the class trial preparations.
Got it.
I'd never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial.
Anyways, what's your theory?
My theory is... I'm sorry, I was paying attention to the text on the bottom.
Oh yeah. Two murders!
I'm playing the lives of Kifumi and Kiyosaka.
Wait, why did it just slow down?
In this class trial, suspicion builds up on suspicion. Yeah, okay. So my theory, based on the fact that the two victims were the two people who were closest to Alter Ego, I'm guessing that whoever the killer is also took Alter Ego. That's my guess. Okay, let's set the skills.
Attentive influence.
I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah. Cool and composed. Steadies your aim a little. Cost CSP.
Okay.
Alright. Wait, we did remember to record, right? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm dumb.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive
the exact same.
No, it
If you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We
already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
Sure, he's kind of dumb, but he's not that dumb.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. There's so many of them!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Okay, so it's with something that Celeste said.
Everything we found in your room.
Alright, let's see if I can get it.
Everything we found in your room.
Ah!
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are.
It's not true! It's Hero! No! Just hold on a second!
Am I doing the right thing? I got it.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints,
Oh,
the
so
suit
it's the
parts,
message?
they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything. It's not true! It's Hero! No! Just hold on a second!
You're right.
Everything we found in your room.
Nope, that's not it. Ooh, shoot.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
What do I do? I genuinely do not know.
Why did you kill them?
No!
You were on the right track.
Hold
with,
on a second!
this message.
Okay, so it's the blueprints? The handwriting!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Alright.
It's not true! It's Hero! No!
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Hold on a
Yeah.
second!
There will be times when like your weak points are literally covered up.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are
Oh.
the culprit.
Oh!
It's not true! It's Hero!
So when we actually get to
Hold on a
the
second!
trial where this is introduced, are we just gonna kind of cut it out?
Everything we found in your room.
Like,
The
are we gonna
blueprints,
cut out-
the suit parts, they are all proof.
There we go!
No, that's wrong!
White noise.
Are we gonna cut out this failing and just going through it over and over and over? Yeah.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Oh, Makoto's alone now. He doesn't have anyone to either side of him.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
God, he admits it.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
Yeah! God, he is
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
It actually was Hiro. And of course he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question.
The Illuminati!
Is a
I got it!
Illuminati.
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
But he did.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
Why is this case so absurd?
What?
Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Do I have to have a specific order?
A specific order of everything, I don't know.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository.
Actually, that reminds me. Do you remember in the last trial there was a point where Kyoko asked you about why she suspected Mondo? It was like the way you acted, the way you talked.
Yeah.
You got it wrong, and like it didn't affect anything. You didn't gain or lose any health, and she just kind of looked at you disapprovingly.
Yeah.
But if you got it right, she would have smiled at you. So it didn't actually matter.
Yeah.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
You know, I just remember he's dead.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
The bloody wheel!
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Okay, maybe we can't deny that.
That's not true. Who solved the past 2 cases so far? Who's the one giving the answers? Who's the one pressing all the buttons? Technically, it's not a Goomba, but still! Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository.
A new element has been added to bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more?
Oh no.
Let's talk about reloading.
Oh no!
Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe.
Oh no! This is gonna suck!
On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just walking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the X button. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the X button in time with the tempo marker.
Okay, that makes sense.
Basically, just remember that the X button now has a function along with the A and Y buttons.
A is to lock on and Y is to shoot, right?
Yes. You will automatically reload at the start of fever times, and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. The moment of truth.
Oh, so this is bullet metal.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch.
Oh!
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic.
Oh, Drake.
I cannot agree. This should prove
the
it.
equipment round.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then...
Oh! There's no way to bend.
Oh yeah.
No way to bend your torso. So, and there was no handle on the dolly, which means they couldn't have done it.
What kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
But
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
What does he mean by that? I know exactly what he means! How do I move the thing again?
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Damn it. I was a bit trigger happy.
shoot! Mistake there.
I'm gonna die.
As we know, Taka was killed, and from there...
Yeah, then loaded it on...
Now, keep in mind that the
Well, yeah.
Dang it! That was it!
Even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realized anything.
He doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah. But even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did it! I thought I did
I
it!
gave you that one.
Yeah. You're like, close enough!
Yeah.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible! Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help?
How did you make something that you can't take off by yourself?
I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing.
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You really don't have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it. Did you
The door
not?
is in the background.
The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me.
What guy?
Robo Justice, or that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Me too!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko,
Because she
and
has a good
myself.
memory, of course.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi.
Again, this whole situation.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong?
I saw a shadow. Something moving at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste! What's wrong?
That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. How many times do you think we'll have to flash back to this exact scene?
I don't know. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
Oh
yeah! Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening.
Are we hallucinating all this or something? Yeah.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing.
This is why you don't turn your back on the body.
Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
contradictions that hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them, no matter what. The note! Right?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The order that the Justice Hammers were using to her. Something about that is bothering me.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
I keep doing
It's
this!
true that Hifumi.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3.
The numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3.
While Taka's death,
See? So it's obvious Taka came... So, I wonder if he... Or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
what makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
What? That's not right!
Try the other one. The other one.
Shoot!
The other weak point? The order?
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if... Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed
Is that
in.
it?
Taka came last.
Oh my
Because of the number...
It's true that while Taka's death,
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if... Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
Nope!
Nope. Okay, we're gonna need to try a different one.
Shoot!
Okay.
Oh, great. Yeah, we're gonna need to...
One more
So,
chance.
regarding
ones you have?
Taka's death,
I have the
I wonder if he
file,
died
and I
before
have...
Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
It's a bit,
Nope, that's not gonna help us. Yep, and what else? Which one? Which one
Let's
is
read
it?
it and see if it gives you some information.
That's...
Already know what order they were killed in. Taka came
You
last.
didn't memorize the other one now?
what makes you
what?
say that?
You didn't memorize this upcoming week one?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Where do I need to use this?
There's only one option. There's only one
Oh,
option.
yeah.
And if it's wrong,
Yes.
So, regarding Taka's
Oh,
death,
God, am I gonna have to...
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka
Oh.
came
No!
last.
Change truthful at the
What
last
makes you
second.
say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Did I lose
It's
the
true
number?
that Hifumi was
God,
killed
yeah.
with Justice Hammer 3.
While Taka's death,
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay. I got it this time. I'm gonna remember the buttons.
So,
Regarding Taka, I wonder if... Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
There we go!
Nice.
Here we go.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
And we'll find out that reason
Next time.
next time.